Welcome to this week's episode of the Keep It Up and Game On podcast. This is your co-host Sly.
This is Top Tapping In.
And this is the show. First and foremost, we're going to start today's episode with a little quiz, just like last week. And it's going to be a little different, unfortunately, for the at-home viewers. Listening to the audio version, you might just have to listen along and use your imagination and just try to follow along with our guesses and whatnot. But we'll try to see how many of these we can get.
I'll also add to it, some of these might actually be music. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Just to preface, we haven't seen any of these. Granted, we only saw the first one just to get an idea of what the quiz is going to be, but we have no idea. We didn't watch the video, so we're going in completely blind just with you guys.
And neither of us is going to get a point on that first one, okay?
Out multiple choice, you get 2 points. Keep track of your score and let me know how you do in the end. I'll see you guys at the beginning of next round. Good luck.
All right, this is a two puppet-looking characters. I'm gonna say It Takes Two.
That's the first one. We're not getting points.
A guy bent over.
I'm gonna say Ghost Trick. I don't know.
Lucky guess. Oh, Biomutant.
Biomutant? I thought that looked like... Oh, what was that? What was that movie? Oh, it's really popular. There's a ride at Epcot of it.
Oh, Blue Dragon. R.I.P. Akira Toriyama. Oh,
Left 4 Dead?
Condemned? Condemned 2. Punch Out? Knockout?
I don't know any of these. I'm going to say Final Round. I'm going to say Knockout. Face Breaker.
Face Breaker. Dang it.
Neither of us get it. Cell Damage. Finally.
Ubisoft. Okay. Looks like he's on a ship, maybe, or
Cold Fear. I don't know. Man, we're tied 3-3 slot. Don't ever let go.
Skyscraper. Disaster Report.
Rescuer. You said that. I'll give it to you.
Midway. Looks like a Castlevania ripoff.
Shadow Hearts, I think.
Shadow Tower. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I knew the cover. I've never
Round
played
2
that, though.
will be Guess the Game from the UI/HUD only. I will show you a screenshot of a game with everything blurred out. Besides the HUD, you will have 10 seconds to guess it. There won't be a multiple choice at the end, so you only get 1 point if you get it correctly. This is going to be a little bit tough, so good luck, and I'll see you in the next round.
All right.
This is so cool that he did this. I don't know.
Sunset
Ratchet
Overdrive?
and Clank. Or Bubsy. I'm going to say Bubsy.
Hi-Fi Rush. Okay.
BioShock.
Yeah, I would say it's BioShock. Infinite.
Can I take that one?
Yeah, that applies. Monster Hunter?
Good job, Sly. We're tied 5-5. I don't know this. Lord of the Rings, my guess.
Oh, Ori.
Ori. Wind Waker. Zelda.
Yep. Beat me to it. I was actually going to say Dark Cloud for a second.
Oh, that's a game we've got to talk about one of these days. Maybe we could play that together.
Mm-hmm. Outer Worlds. Dang it.
Outer Worlds. I hope you guys are playing along with us at home too. Oh, this is Crackdown. Crackdown. Yes. I never played the third one though.
Oh, Harvest Moon.
That's it, I think. Yeah. Great job, Sly. I'm winning 7-6.
Oh, Shadow.
God. Dang. Shadow. One of my all-time favorite games for sure.
Crazy Taxi. No,
It's Lap though.
Gran Turismo.
Oh, it's giving us clues there. I just noticed it. Like I said, PS2 on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
It is guess the villain. Like the first round, you will have 5 seconds to guess before the multiple choice pops up, and then you will have another 5 seconds to guess. If you get it without the multiple choice, you get 2 points. If you need multiple choice and you get it, you get 1 point. I will see you guys in the next round. Good luck.
Okay, cool.
Okay, rule.
Cool.
We tied. You know what? I wasn't giving us 2 points if we got it before the things came up.
Giovanni.
Good job. I'm gonna give you 2.
Oh, dang it.
Elizabeth?
Nope. Bella Druska, the first one. Or no, C.
You correct. Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'm giving you 1 point for that.
Mr. Negative.
Is that from No More Heroes?
That's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? Oh, wow. I gave you 2 for that.
If you don't get this...
Darth Malak.
Okay, I was going to say, dude, you're the Star Wars guy.
I'm wrong. Yeah, okay. God, I couldn't think of it. Your series.
Xehanort.
Zenmus. I'm not sure. Xenoheart. Why didn't you say that?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'll give you 2 for that.
Rafe Adler.
Rafe Sadler. You got that. 1 point.
Oh, Freddy. Is that what we call these guys? Rebel Bunny?
No, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. Robo Bunny. Ring Trap.
Yeah, I never played that one. Oh, dang it. I forgot his name.
What game is that?
Oh, hold on. I just played this, Final Fantasy VII, Scarlet.
I'm giving you 1 for that. I should have known it.
Round 4 will be guess the game developer. I will show you 3 games from the dev's catalog, and you will have 5 seconds to guess before multiple choice pops up. Like previous rounds, you get 2 points for getting it without multiple choice, and you get 1 if you need multiple choice. This round's a little bit tough, so have fun. Good luck.
You're destroying
From Software.
Who?
From Software. Sony Santa Monica. Oh, Obsidian.
That's it. That's it. Dang. I'm picking a retro trivia next time. I can't wait to tell you the score.
Double Fine? Yeah, I think it was.
I'm just gonna go get a drink.
Molecule. Eidos Montreal, or just Eidos, I guess.
It literally says Eidos there, but
or Crystal Dynamics. Oh, I know this one.
Not Atlas, is it?
No, it's Platinum Games.
Platinum Games. One of us knows what we're talking about.
Blooper? Blooper, that's what I meant to say.
I'll give it to you. I'm gonna get the next one.
Oh, I know this one, Sumo Digital. Super Giant.
I'm giving you one.
Oh, no, I know this. Blue Point. No, Housemark.
Round 5, and the last round is just guess the game. I'm going to show you a picture of a game, and you're just going to have to guess what game it is. There is no multiple choice. This round's a little bit easier for the first half, and then I think it gets really difficult towards the second half. So good luck, and I'll see you guys at the very end.
That will be the guess of Joe. Resident Evil.
Giving you two.
Oh, damn it.
Bravely Default?
No, it's the other one. Octopath?
Octopath Traveler. Yeah, you're right. I'm giving you two.
This one is
Silent Hill?
No, it's like one of those slice of life games, I think. Oh, The Quarry. Never mind. I didn't play that one yet. Call of Duty?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, Metro Exodus. Dang it.
I saw a pre for that before.
Sifu.
Is it really?
I don't know. We'll find
I
out.
was gonna guess Ninja Gaiden.
Don't think I know this one.
Whatever this is looks cool.
Yeah.
Crypt of the Necrodons.
Oh, Persona.
Looks like a Wii game.
I forgot the name of this game. King's Quest. The irony too is that Mega Man.
Mega Man.
Already said it. Ooh, looks familiar. Manhunt? Never even heard of that game.
Never even heard of it.
It's one of those ones I think I'm gonna kick myself if I don't get this.
Pandemonium.
And that'll do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for playing. Please comment below with your scores and any feedback you might have. Let me know if you preferred one category more than the others. Make sure to subscribe. I will be posting multiple videos a week going forward, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Wow. Some of those were pretty tough.
I thought that was really interesting.
I mean,
do you want to know the final tally? It's disgusting.
I mean,
you want to guess?
Oh, I wouldn't even. I don't even remember how many questions there were, to be honest.
Sly, your score was 43.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was 8. 43-8. That was a beatdown. My butt is better.
Went a lot better than the video game music quiz. Like some of those, I'm just like, it sounds familiar. But then, like, you think too, like with the music, especially, like it's in the background. You're not necessarily thinking of the music exactly per se. Like you could think to yourself, okay, it's recognizable. You may be able to recall, okay, this was from a game I played, but unless it's an iconic tune, I just don't think there's going to be any way for just how generic a lot of these, background musics, come out.
That's a fair point. I have to say, though, I love that, maybe not generic sounding, but I love the background music in video games. It's part of the art.
Oh yeah, I can also appreciate the the 8 and the 16-bit sounds, and just the retro and just the nostalgia of it. And I can also appreciate too with a lot of like the indie games that are coming out, they still have that retro vibe. Just like even in the quiz we were looking at, the Octopath Traveler, just games like that. Just still have the pixelated aesthetic to it. I can vibe with that.
That was a really good variety. There was a lot of PlayStation in that as well, which is definitely your strong suit, I would say.
Although I will say, I don't think I think I might have had a handicap going into it, because I did notice the symbols he had as a backdrop. I'm like, all right, I mean, those are PlayStation buttons, but I mean, we'll see how this quiz goes.
Yeah, it was a really high quality put together video.
Mm-hmm. I just wasn't sure if it was going to be strictly all PlayStation, but then for the most part I felt like it was, but then I'm like, okay, I might not have a fair advantage here.
Yeah,
some of those I was like, yeah, that's what it is.
Perfect. I got a little ahead of ourselves here.
Okay.
By putting this up on the screen.
I see we have something we want to discuss.
Yes, I'm extremely excited for the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection coming out.
Yes.
There's so many good things about this. Everyone, let's check out the trailer. And it's really cool because in this trailer, they specifically talk about what happens in the game as well a little bit, so the audio listeners will get a taste of it too.
Nice.
Your simulation days are over, Trooper. This is a real battle. No retreats. No excuses. Now get out there.
Fight your way across the Star Wars galaxy in the classic Battlefront games with massive 64-player online battles and split-screen local gameplay. Fight with heroes.
Never tell me the odds.
And battle with villains.
Bring me more Jedi!
Get ready for the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. Launching March 14th. Pre-order now.
Ooh.
Who needs Battlefront 3? No one needs Battlefront 3. No one. Oh, interesting that randomly happens. I'm clipping that out. I'm clipping that out.
But
putting that teaser up for earlier.
I will say I'm genuinely excited. Like, that looked amazing.
Had you seen that yet?
That was the first time I watched it.
Did you notice it said 64 player?
I mouthed it during the trailer. 64. I was like, what?
The original was 32, and 32 was crazy. I'm really interested to see if they increase the size of the maps at all. Because if you tell me if it's 64 players, that's quite a bit of space on these maps.
But at the same time, like I don't recall. It's been ages since I played that game. But how many, between the players and the NPCs themselves? I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, with all the action going on, like, how much active players, be it like an NPC or an actual player, like, were like in the game at any one point?
Previously, my understanding was 32 on 32.
Okay,
and now
so that was
on four, if I'm not mistaken.
So was that the format before? It was an actual 32 versus 32, even though they all might not necessarily be players. It was all computers plus with your actual player.
Yeah, it's one of the first games that I remember playing online, and what's really interesting about that, this whole series, is that is the first DLC add-on that I ever added. This was the first game that I was ever like, listen, you guys deserve my $4.99. And I was making $6.50 an hour at Walgreens as a cashier. and I just had to get it. It was Kit Fisto and Asaz Ventress. And the fact that you could download it, I was playing it on the original Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
All my roommates bought it. I had 3 roommates at the time. I'm having a brain fart right now. We had LAN parties. We connected all of them together. We all played. It was disgusting. It was so much fun. And I really am looking forward to playing this with you and our other friends that we play with.
Of course. Do you know what platforms they're coming out for? Or I'd assume it's all third party.
That's part of what's disappointed me.
Okay.
It's coming out on Switch. It's
Nice.
coming out on Xbox. And it's coming out on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
Okay.
But here's the trouble. When it comes to cross-platform, there is no cross-platform capability, with exception of the cross-generation that they allow. PS4 can play with PS5.
Okay, so that was gonna be my next question: can you at least play within the same family of consoles?
Yes, so you can play within the same family, but that's extremely disappointing to me. I really want this game to be around for a while. I don't want this dedicated fan base to be split up amongst different platforms.
That is unfortunate, especially you consider today almost all the games are cross-platform at this point. It's very few and far between. Even Helldivers that just came out, it's still cross-platform with console and PC.
Exactly. It's been huge, and I get why maybe even 5 or 10 years ago why that couldn't be done.
Maybe the servers were limited, or just the network trafficking was different back in the day or something.
But the times we live in now, with all the great technology now, it should happen. So you know what I did, Sly?
Oh, what'd you do?
I wrote an email to Aspire. Now, I haven't heard back yet. Let me share the screen here.
Okay.
Before I checked out the email and wrote the email, I just wanted to share what I learned about Aspire. I said, who even is this company? Because I had never even really heard about them, but apparently they've launched over 200 plus games, 25 years of experience, 140 employees, 10 platforms. I love Austin, Texas. I love visiting Austin.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, they did some Tomb Raider games, and they've put out Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
So that was going to be something I was going to piggyback on with Aspire. I'm kind of disappointed that they had a Knights of the Old Republic remake in the works, and it got canned. And they were in partnership with Sony in some, facet to make the game come to fruition. It was in development for a good bit. Then I think it changed hands from, Aspire to a different studio. And I guess just when it went to the other studio, that's where maybe what studio? I want to say Saber Interactive. I could be wrong. But I think the game itself just fizzled out and, got swept under the rug, unfortunately.
There was a lot of public backlash when that happened. And even the Civilization 6, I need to do a little bit more research into that. I don't know did they actually publish this?
Oh, I'm not sure, but speaking of Civilization, I do miss Revolution. That was probably one of my all-time favorite iterations of that game, or that franchise, I should say. That
is so cool. So, in Myth Force, this game looked sort of cool, I saw, but notice how everything here, it's a Switch, Windows, Xbox, PlayStation. Even on this, Star Wars Knights 2, The Old Republic, Windows. What is it? Actually, I'm embarrassed. I don't know what this symbol is. Can you make that out?
It's a little small. It's funny. I know this is completely wrong, but I was going to say Abstergo from the Assassin's Creed franchise. Kind of looks like that symbol.
Maybe. You know what? Actually, maybe someone in our audience can help us noobs out with this.
Yeah.
So overall, though, I'm really
it's iOS.
disappointed. Oh, iOS. And look at you, Android. This is your friend up, and this is my cousin's platform, Linux, right there.
Nice.
So, what are these games about? What is this developer and publisher about? Here's what we believe in.
Okay.
Number one, put the game first, no matter what. We make decisions based on the overall experience, not the bottom line.
Okay.
Mad props. I like this. Embrace challenge. We see the impossible as an opportunity to create what's never been done before. You know what's never been done before?
What's that?
Cross-platform Star Wars Battlefront Classic.
Never been done before.
Never been done before. And to keep it going, to one up everything. We go beyond expectations. As of right now, yes, I'm very excited about features about this game, specifically the increased player count. But the other great thing about the game is that you used to only be able to play the hero mode. You could only play heroes on one map, on Mos Eisley.
Okay.
Now, they've expanded that hero mode to all maps. So we're going to be able to play as our favorite heroes or villains.
They've expanded.
Yeah, like they have.
So they've
one up
added.
in that
Okay.
regard.
Okay. Nice.
So I actually can appreciate sincerely these values here. We go beyond expectations and over deliver because we want to make games that we want to play. How do I scroll over here?
Oh, there we go.
But it gets deeper. It gets deeper.
Deeper.
Be thorough, not fast. Shortcuts don't take you very far. We aim to build high standards from the ground up. Take the time to get it just right. If we do that, we'll always be just fine. Let inspiration guide innovation. What would be innovating? Cross-platform with all of these. There are no out-of-the-box solutions when you're thinking outside the box. If it doesn't get you pumped up, it'll always land flat. Have each other's backs. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Props. Of all the things we've built, our team is easily what we're most proud of. We're all in this together. Mm-hmm. Honestly, so far, I love these guys. Like, these are really core values. Check this out.
They're saying all the right things.
Play the long game. We emphasize long-term success over short-term success.
Well, I just don't understand. I mean, you would think cross-platform, that would, nurture the long game right there. You have a higher install base that are able to basically play the game they purchased. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Exactly. And you don't want individual servers fizzling out. We could sort of see the Switch servers dying out, and then the Xbox servers dying out, and then the PlayStation servers dying out until there's barely anyone playing, and then they close the servers. Yeah. However, if they want to do their step that they believe in, step 8, building relationships, for a bunch of gamers, we're surprisingly people. We build trust through respect, hard work, and passion. Leave a brand stronger than it was before. Our partners trust us with their brands, and we aim to reward that trust. So let me say this. I know I'm a little facetious with talking about how cross-platform is the way that they could prove all these things, because I do sincerely feel that they've put enough effort into this game to go along with their core values. But do they really want to over-deliver?
Well, let's find out.
Unfortunately, I haven't heard a response back yet, but I'm giving the listeners at home a reason to check back in with us next week to see if Aspire actually responds to our email. And I also have to point out that I did do a little bit of digging. Thank you, Reddit. Thank you, Google search. There's been no official announcement that it's not cross-platform.
Okay.
However, multiple people in Reddit have said through chats that
They don't think it's
The
gonna
answer is no.
be? Okay. Is that confirmed?
I want to see if they plan to update the game in the future to have that cross-platform support.
I'd imagine it's as easy as flipping a switch.
And see, that's the trouble. Eventually on here, I'd like to maybe get a developer that does some online networking behind the scenes that could actually talk about interweaving Switch gameplay with Xbox, with PlayStation.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting to get some insight.
I do know a few in the industry, and I'd love to get them on here and interview them with some of these questions. This is the email that I wrote. Should I read the whole thing?
I mean, if you want, because the way I see it too is, especially if you're a multi-platform developer, you have one flagship, platform that you develop on, and then from there you kind of just port it to the rest. So you're essentially making the same game multiple times. So I'm sure
exactly.
There's got to be some type of like backdoor, or, networking like handshake they can do just to make it work. You know what I mean?
Yes, especially because it's been done for other games.
Absolutely.
So that's their job. They should be able to figure this out, especially with the $40 charge that they're making for this.
Mm-hmm.
I had to start it off with, dear aspiring gaming team,
Hello there.
Hello there, the Obi-Wan meme.
Yep.
I'm writing to express my heartfelt gratitude for the upcoming release you've implemented of one of our favorite video game series, Star Wars Battlefront. The expansion of Hero Mode to all maps and the increase in player count to 64 per map will truly enhance the gaming experience. And I couldn't be more excited to dive back into the action, especially alongside friends. Your commitment to continuously improving the game aligns perfectly with the values you've emphasized on your website: embracing challenges, striving to one-up everything, and playing the long game with a focus on long-term success. It's evident that you take these values seriously, and I admire your dedication to delivering excellence to your players. However, I must share a concern that has been on the gaming community's mind since the press release. Despite the remarkable progress made in various aspects of the game, we can't help but feel disappointed by the lack of cross-platform compatibility. As someone who values inclusivity and the ability to connect with friends regardless of their preferred gaming platform, I believe that enabling cross-platform play would not only align with your stated values, but also greatly enrich the overall experience for the community of Star Wars gaming fans.
100%.
In bold, do you plan to update the game with cross-platform support? With the ever-growing importance of cross-platform gaming in today's interconnected gaming landscape, I believe that embracing this challenge would not only demonstrate your commitment to innovation, but also foster a stronger sense of unity and camaraderie among players across different platforms. I understand that implementing cross-platform compatibility may present its own set of challenges, but I am confident that your talented team is more than capable of rising to the occasion and overcoming any obstacles that may arise. By doing so, you would not only stay true to your company's values, but also reaffirm your dedication to delivering the best possible gaming experience to your players. Once again, I want to express my appreciation for all the hard work and dedication that you've put into making the game better. I eagerly await your response and look forward to continuing to support Aspire Gaming in the future. Thank you for your time and confusion. For your time and consideration.
Yeah, we're confused, man. Where's the crossplay?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, I had to end it with, "May the force be with you," Top, from the Keep It Up and Game On podcast. And
Perfect.
What was really exciting about sending this email off is that I sent it to their PR department, their press release department. So maybe we're going to become part of that press here.
You know what? Like, we reached out, we got the ball rolling, we're perking up the eyebrows, like, hey, like, hello, come on.
If they respond to me, you know what I'm going to ask them?
What are you going to ask them?
Would you like to join us on our podcast next week?
I'd be down for that.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, get somebody, just get the questions going, and we can get to the root of this.
You think they're going to write back?
100% no. Okay, I gotta be honest. They probably get millions of those like a day. Just fan mail.
I had to start it with hello there. They have to respond.
I would hope they would respond. I would hope.
So we'll see. We'll see. I seriously doubt they'll be on the podcast, but I really like that.
Yeah, just to circle back though, like I'm curious as to, how so Disney owns the Star Wars franchise and IP, obviously. So obviously what goes hand in hand with that is Lucas, Interactive. But I'm curious as to how they pick and choose which, contract work to put out like this. So obviously, Disney's not making this in-house. It's essentially a port. They're just modernizing the game, but I'm just curious how, they what goes into consideration for basically just this port of a PS2 Xbox game.
Yeah, and it's already on Steam as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually been adapted to modern generation.
Now, is this just a collection? But you also said, too, that they've made additions to the game in terms of, like, you can play different heroes on different maps now and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you used to only be able to play one hero on each side. Like, for instance, you could have Luke Skywalker on I'm embarrassing myself. On the Rebellion side, and on the Empire side, you would have Darth Vader.
Okay.
But you'd only have one hero on each side, and it's really cool because you have to actually rack up enough kills or score enough points, capture enough bases to actually unlock the ability to switch over to playing the hero.
Okay.
And what's cool, the specific thing they've expanded is it's all heroes versus all heroes now.
Oh, wow.
They have that option. So you'll have...
So I can appreciate that because I want to say that feature was in Battlefront 2, the modern version.
Exactly.
The one
yeah,
made by Electronic Arts.
Yeah, exactly. And even... What did they have? Wasn't it like 5-on-5 or 3-on-3, or could you pick? I can't remember. Man, it's been a couple years.
I want to say it was 4-on-4 or 5-on-5.
Okay. Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing that game.
Yeah. But what I will ask you is if you could have one game in your entire library of retro games remade from the ground up in today's modern engines and or gaming technology, what would that game be?
I have a couple different answers for you.
Okay.
You asked me this right at the beginning, right before we started the podcast, so that way I could stew over it a little bit. There's 3 games that came to mind.
Nice.
The first one that just popped in my head was Earthbound.
You know what? I can see that.
We don't have a current gen Earthbound game that tells this excellent story, has a great sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I should even just be grateful that we have the release on the Switch platform. But a new take on that and the creativity, maybe even an adultness who has honed his skills a little bit.
Yeah. So what I can say to that is I could appreciate that, but would you say that franchise is as mainstream and popular as, say, like maybe Legend of Zelda or Kirby or Donkey Kong and maybe some of the other franchises in their catalog? That's
a great question.
So if you were to walk into if you were to walk into the GameStop at your local mall and you saw someone random in there just browsing, like, hey, have you ever played Earthbound? What's that? Oh, never
It's
mind.
definitely more of a cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think that's part of the problem. I think it actually should be there.
That's what
You
I'm
should
saying,
know
though.
Kirby.
But what I'm saying though is I'm surprised Nintendo, across all of their many generations of consoles and handhelds, that they haven't made like a next iteration or a full blown like remaster or remake, just something to bring it into modern times. You know,
Even Ness being in the original Super Smash Bros. On N64, you could tell that they were trying to build upon him and make him a main cog in Nintendo. Granted, I know the developer for Earthbound was also heavily involved with Smash Bros.
Yeah.
So I wish that would have expanded as well.
They even brought Lucas in one of the Smash Bros. So I mean,
yeah, exactly. So I'd like to see them more than just in the Smash Bros. Series, but perhaps an all new release, and the sarcasm. One of the greatest joys about playing Earthbound is actually talking to all the NPCs and the weird quirkiness, and I just love that series so much. Another couple series that I'm going to sort of combine them into one, and Rip Dragon Ball Z creator. Okay. Right now, this is he was actually involved with Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
With some of the character design in there.
Yep.
I would love to see a modern age Chrono Trigger. Granted, I guess that sort of got worked into Chrono Cross, but you know, something current gen would be excellent. And I know I keep talking Super Nintendo here, but Secret of Mana as well. Making Secret of Mana was a multiplayer action RPG with three actual players on the Super Nintendo.
Hold that thought. I want to say, I just watched I think it was an Xbox, like partnership, director. I forget what they called it, but they basically had like a little mini, a sizzle reel of like announcements with I want to say there was a Secret of Mana like trailer in there. I can't remember which one it was, if it was a remake or a new entry, but dang, for the life of me I can't remember which one it was or what it was called.
Is it Visions of Mana?
It could be 3
months ago.
Sounds right.
Should I pull this up? Should I play this for us?
Yeah, we can check it out real quick.
It's only a 1 minute thing.
Oh yeah, I think this was it.
Did you just answer my dreams? This looks hyper fun.
Yeah.
Can we? Uphold this legacy now and forever. If this is multiplayer, couch co-op, Square Enix presents.
I'm already on board.
These abilities look sick. Oh, look, there's other players there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're NPCs or not. A new Mana adventure. This is crazy. This is about to begin. Got some sweet sword attacks, some spins, power-ups. There's the tree, man.
Yep.
Mana. There's a tree, man. The adventure begins in 2024. I am researching that more as soon as we get offline.
Did I not tell you?
Oh, dude.
As soon as I saw that, I was like,
Hey, That's got to be the game we play together next time. Once it's
Yes.
out, obviously.
Yes. I'd be all
We should
about
just blast. We should just blast through it one weekend together.
it. And then I would say mine.
Sorry, how rude of me, kind sir. How rude of me, sir. Which retro game would you like to see made into a modern remake?
It's not too retro, but it does
Vintage.
have a deep place in my heart. And I remember as a young lad, acquiring a PlayStation 2 when it first came out. And there was a game by the name of Jack and Daxter that completely blew me away. Now, for a PS2 game to have that level of fidelity, the characters, the just the heart in the world, and how fleshed out it was for a protagonist that doesn't say a single word. The main character doesn't say a single word. And then the number one thing that blew me away in this game, a PS2 game. So this, at the time, to me, this was groundbreaking. Top, not a single load screen.
Really?
Everything is seamless. If you can see it, you can go there. Not a single load screen. Granted, they had loading animations, like obviously, and this is gonna segue into my next topic I wanted to bring up is what video game mechanics or tropes am I over? And granted, we haven't really gotten into it too much with this current generation, be it the Xbox Series and the PS5, but with the addition of SSDs now in the current generation, load times are a thing of the past essentially. Granted, some games just it's up to the developers obviously to see how they want to take advantage of the technology. But for a PS2 game to have modern day, just features like that.
I did not realize that existed.
Yeah.
I actually have that on PS2. I'm gonna go play that as well. I'm gonna make that my homework for the week.
Yeah, check it out. Like, you're walking around. There's never any like barrier or anything like that. So what I would say is my most annoying thing would be just loading times now, because I've gone back and played PS4 games. And I've gotten spoiled, Top. I've gotten spoiled. I'm just like, what is this? This inconvenience. And then, granted, we're on opposite ends of the spectrum. You like to, purchase physical. I like to purchase digital. I just like the convenience of it. I can literally be anywhere out in the world. Just jump on my phone real quick. Boop, boop, boop.
I love Sony wiping hundreds of PlayStation 5 games from my library. It just makes me feel so good.
When does that? So I will say this as
I'm being sarcastic. I see the value in it. I used to sway way towards only physical media, but I see exactly where you're coming from. There is significant value in it.
And then
digital.
I think it's ironic. Like, this is all the physical media I have in my home, and it's just this one little bookshelf, and it's for the most part 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all movies for that night. You can see my Switch games a little bit on the top, like over here.
Mm-hmm.
Got my collector's edition of Pocky and Rocky. Switch over here, couple PS5, and I think I got one Xbox game in there, but like I said, everything's digital now. Like, just the ultimate convenience. I don't have to go anywhere. I jump onto a storefront that's right there in my home. We live in the first world. I have a gig, download speed. I can download a whole game in minutes. Why do I need to go anywhere? And then, granted, I'm gonna sound like a super lazy person, but just sitting on the couch. Let's just say you're playing a single player narrative game. You get a phone call, one of your buddies calls, "Hey, Top, You want to jump on some Helldivers? Yeah, sure thing, Sly. I'll jump on. You don't even have to get up. Just hit the button, switch over the game. Don't even have to swap a disc or anything.
Definitely convenient. I'll say this specifically regarding the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection that's coming out. Do you know the size of that game?
Like file size?
Yeah, the file size. What would you expect it to be, being a retro game from the PS2, Xbox era?
All right, I can't imagine it being that big. Because even...
I know the answer.
Because the PS2 used CD-ROMs and DVDs. And even DVDs, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Top. I want to say it was somewhere around 4 or 5 gigs of space on the disc. And then CD-ROMs was barely a gig in itself. I think it was like 700 megabytes or something like that. So if I had to use my ballpark guess, I'd imagine the whole collection maybe 8 to 10 gigs.
It's 50 gigs.
What?
We're being asked.
50 gigs?
50 gigs for this retro game, which granted, yes, they're adding a bunch of online things and all the things we talked about previously. But that's an issue that I do have with digital is I know on my PS4, I've had to delete so many games just to make room for other games, which granted, maybe I'm being the lazy one now. You can easily upgrade the storage or even do an external storage component, which is not crazy, and it's realistically not that expensive to do. But it's another factor. Just, you know, you only have so much room for your digital downloads as well. So,
well, my argument to that, just to use your own argument against you, you even said it yourself, is external storage is so affordable now. You can easily get a 1 gigabyte, you know, external hard drive for
1 terabyte,
or like even a terabyte. But like even like if you wanted to do that, like you'd probably just get one for like what, $40-$50?
Yeah, but imagine if I didn't have Helldivers 2 downloaded.
Yeah, you're right.
And then, sorry guys, I can't pop my disc right in. Let me download this. Give me half an hour and I'll be there.
But again, first world problems.
I bought too many groceries. Now I have to make 2 trips.
First world problems. I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit here.
But I don't know. I just think that, and then I would say another trope I'm over is you don't see it too often anymore, but I do find it annoying sometimes, is they'll develop a game, and I'm just speaking broadly. I'm not, zeroing in on any publisher or developer, but just
I'm going to email whatever publisher you're about to describe right now and tell them your complaint.
Just broadly speaking, one of my things that I find it really annoying is just to say a game's being developed, they have a roadmap for everything that they want to put into a game, and then all of a sudden they say, hey, we have this full game. It's 100% complete. We're going to take 25% of that game and put it over here. So now we have 75% of the game. This is what the retail release is going to be. So we're going to charge you full price for 70% of this game. And then a month or 2 down the road, that 25% that we pulled, we're going to put back in there, and we're going to charge you half of what the game cost. For this.
Essentially a microtransaction DLC. They don't even have the courtesy to pretend like they didn't have it done. Like a month or 2 after, they don't even wait 6 months. They don't even wait a year. Like, yeah, that's really frustrating, Sly.
And the DLC I can appreciate is the ones that come out like a year after the fact. We're like, oh wow, the fan base really loves our IP or the game that we came out with, and it's being received really well. So I'll just keep using Helldiver as an example. This is the 3rd week this game has been out, and sales are still going up. how often do you see that happen in the gaming industry? So you have games where, typically it'll come out, they'll have the release window of like, I would say like a week, give it like a week to 10 days. And then that is their Super Bowl. That is their window. That is their money making time. That is when they're going to get 80% of what they're ever going to sell for that game in its lifetime in that window. And you see the curve, like after that week, sales just start to slowly decline until before you know it, it gets to a point where like, okay, we've made everything that we can from this game. And that's when you usually tend to see those type of games end up in like a subscription service like Game Pass or, PlayStation Plus. And unfortunately, I just think it's, a thing that, I would argue it's more so on the publishers that, I think greed becomes a factor. Whereas, we kind of just went onto that Aspire website where they're like, all right, put the game first. Well, why would you want to intentionally screw over your sole consumer that you're trying to build a relationship with and, wanting
charging $40 for a game that's already been developed,
but just
20 years ago.
Not even that. Be that as it may, you're charging the $40, but let's just say on the next go around, you're coming out with another like remaster or a port. Why would I buy it? You know what I mean?
Forward thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought of something else, and I can tie it in a little bit to our topic here. We're approaching about an hour right now, but about which retro game I'd really like to see a modern version of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm terrified of future added DLC, if they ever did do this, is Twisted Metal.
So, unfortunately, they were making a modern day when it just got canceled.
You couldn't do the whole Vision of Mana thing all over again? Like,
well, it's funny. I got you with both ends of the spectrum in this regard too.
Man, that thing fell apart. Like, did it get?
I picked you
bought
up
out
just
by someone else?
Well, so it had a very it had a lot of turmoil. I wouldn't say turmoil. I'm trying to think of the correct phrasing I want to use. So it was at so it was never formally announced. So for them to cancel it, it's not really. You can't feel bad about a game that was never really announced, if that makes sense. Like they never
that
had.
That does make sense.
They never had a press release. They never shown a trailer for it, or you kind of just heard like what was going on, like behind closed doors. So basically, have you ever heard of a game called Battle? What was it called? Destruction All Stars. It was when the PS5 first came out. It was one of those games that they put on PlayStation Plus. They gave it to you for free. It's supposed to be a launch title, but it got postponed, and then they eventually just gave it to you. And the premise of that game was it was a car combat. You can actually get out of your car. There was like a parkour mechanic. You could jump around, and like it was just car combat essentially. So it was developed by Lucid Games. So Sony, I guess behind closed doors, like I guess they approached Lucid Games, and they're like, hey, we were thinking about bringing back Twisted Metal. So I guess they were given the task of doing that. Somewhere along the lines of development, it got pulled from them and given to one of their own first-party studios that they just acquired. I can't remember if it was Fire Sprite or Fire Walk. It was one of them. Sony, if you're listening, I would probably have those two reconsider their naming. Just Fire Sprite and Fire Walk. Like I promise you, I'm going to keep forgetting which one's which.
I'll email them.
I appreciate you.
And they're definitely going to respond.
But they were given the Twisted Metal franchise. So the speculation with that is they don't know if they were just picking up from where Lucid Games left off, or if they just scrapped the whole thing entirely and then now they had to then start from scratch. But even so, just recently, given to them, the talks have been that the game is just canceled altogether. Because obviously, between last year and already early into this year, just the gaming industry itself has been hit with all of these layoffs. And, with all the acquisitions and, buyouts, a lot of positions become, I hate to use the word redundant because that was like the trigger word, like on social medias. But a lot of positions were becoming redundant. But I can kind of agree with that. If you have so many of one type of concept artist, or you have like a coder, or someone that works on like mocap or what, what I'm saying. So if you have so many of one position, like obviously you have to trim the fat, because it's kind of playing Occam's razor, because you're damned if you do or you're damned if you don't, because you can't run a business if you're bleeding money on one hand, but then the moral side of it too, like these are people, these are their livelihoods, they have families, they have to put food on the table. So there's that you kind of have to walk that tightrope. And that's why, with the whole ABK merger, I wasn't really a fan of it, because you look at all of those people that got laid off, and Sony's no stranger to that either. I mean, they just had a whole bunch of layoffs themselves, and it's just a bad time for the industry right now. So with, segueing into what I was trying to get back at is, I guess, a while back, hackers got into Insomniac's files somehow. They found a backdoor, got in there, and they were able to get like terabytes worth of information from Insomniac Games. And they were able to see that like they had Sony's like timeline, and they were data mining just like all kinds of stuff out of there. And I guess that they saw that Sony was working on 6 to 12 live service games.
How recent was this?
Within the past year.
Okay.
And they were working on 6 to 12 live service games, and Twisted Metal was, going to be one of those live service games, I would assume. And the Last of Us multiplayer game, that was supposed to be a live service game that got canceled. So I guess they were supposed to come out with 12, and now they cut it down to 6. So I'm curious to see which ones are, going to stay put, because Twisted Metal's canceled. Concord, that one's made by, I'm going to screw this up, Firewalk or Fire Sprite, whichever one's which.
I'll add it on the screen right here.
Concord, that's going to be, that got announced last year, I believe, at Sony's, did they even have a showcase last year? I don't even think they did. So anyways, long story short, this is going to be Sony's live service, like multiplayer, like game this year, or later half of the year, because Helldivers, that's a live service game. I'm trying to think of what else.
And that's what I was getting at with Twisted Metal, is I could see that game being such a live service game.
Yeah.
And all the microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not truly pay to win.
And that's what I would appreciate with Helldivers. All the stuff that you're purchasing is for the good of democracy.
Yes, for democracy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you could be buying a helmet or some type of armor or even a gun, but the actual like stratagems and like the heavy hitting stuff, you just have to play the game. There's no other way to get it.
I was at work and I saw one of my gaming buddies, so I stopped in the hallway and I went like this, and then he did it back to me. But it really, like, he said, if someone's looking at us out of context, we got to be careful with how far we take that. Like,
well, every time I finish hell diving, I get back to my ship and it's just like,
yeah, that's awesome.
So speaking of which, I really just got the itch to hell dive. So, guys, thank you for coming into this week's episode of the Keep It Up and Game On podcast. These are your co-hosts. I'm Sly.
Sliding out, and I'm Top Tapping Out.
I like that. That's cool. We'll see you guys next time, and y'all have a good one.
We'll see you, everybody. Bye.